Good morning, boys and girls. Today is Thursday, September 3rd, 2020. Boys and girls, over the last week, we've been talking about the water cycle. Remember, the water cycle is the journey that water travels through during its lifespan. Remember, when we talk about a cycle is something that does not have a starting point or it does not have an ending point. So remember, in a water cycle, there's various steps and stages that are needed in order for the water to travel consistently in a cycle. Today, boys and girls, we're going to use our knowledge of the water cycle and it's going to help us with our new topic for today. Today, boys and girls, we're going to talk about weather and climate. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys. Today, we will begin exploring weather. Boys and girls, have you ever stood outside on a hot summer day and you may say that it's hot or it's humid and the temperatures may exceed 98 degrees? Or maybe someone in another country, maybe in Antarctica, on the same day, and it may be a negative 87 degrees and cold. Boys and girls, today we will understand the difference between weather and climate. Oftentimes we use the word weather and climate as the same, okay? But boys and girls, I want you to know that weather and climate, they have different definitions. And today we're going to learn about weather and climate. When you think of weather, boys and girls, I want you to think of the condition of the atmosphere outside. Okay? It's the atmosphere in a certain place and a certain time. So if you were standing outside today, you would notice that it's sunny. You would notice that it may be a little bit humid or dry. You may notice that the temperatures are exceeding 90 degrees. Okay? When you think about weather, the weather can change hour by hour, especially here in Houston. 1 minute it may be hot, and in 10 minutes or so, you may go outside and it may be raining. And then 5 minutes later, it may be hot again. So when you think about weather, weather can change minute by minute or hour by hour. And again, living in Houston, we see this on a daily basis. Okay, so weather is the condition of the atmosphere in a certain place at a certain time and can change from day to day, hour to hour, or weekly. Okay, also, when you think of weather, weather is specific to a certain place or a certain time. Example, today it may be 85 degrees in Houston, Texas. Or today it may be 97 degrees in Orlando, Florida. Or today in New York City, it may be 85 degrees. So weather is for a specific place and a specific time. Okay. Every city, um, weather may be different. It may change when you go to different states, but it's specific to that area and that location. Temperatures, wind direction, air pressure, humidity, and precipitation are all factors that affect the weather. Okay, remember I just said we may stand outside now and it may be hot, and 10 minutes later we may go outside and we may see rain, which is precipitation. Okay, so all of those things affect the weather. They can change the temperature. Um, it can change how it feels outside. Sometimes it may be really, really, really hot. And then all of a sudden we may have a shower of rain for maybe 10 minutes. Guess what, boys and girls? That shower of rain may bring the temperature down. Maybe from 90 degrees, it may bring the temperature down to 85 degrees. So that precipitation affected the weather. Okay, so various things may affect the weather. The tools used to measure temperature, we know what that is. What is it, boys and girls? That's right, a thermometer. Now, something that may measure the wind direction or which way the wind may be going, north or south, east or west, is the windsock. Sometimes you see it, it looks like a pennant, and it's like a tunnel, and the wind goes inside of that. And then in order to measure the precipitation of how much rain we may get, we may use a rain gauge. And these are all tools that we may use to measure weather. Now, we just talked about weather. Now we're going to talk about climate. Climate is the average rainfall and temperatures in a specific area over a long period of time. Climate is determined by studying weather conditions in an area for many years. So, for example, remember, weather is something that can change day by day, hour by hour, or sometimes minute by minute. Whereas climate is something that changes over a longer period of time. So we may want to think about the seasons, summer, winter, spring, and fall. Those are climate changes. Okay, so if we're in the summer, we know that the climate or the weather may be high in temperature, whereas when we get to winter, the temperatures may be lower and it may not be as sunny. We may see snow and things like that. So the climate has changed depending on the season. Okay. Climate is the general weather conditions for an area over a longer period of time. Example, it is usually hot in Houston during the summer months. Okay. Whereas if we go to New York, it may be colder in the winter. Okay, so the climate changes over a longer period of time, whereas weather may change day by day, hour by hour. So there's two definitions. We have weather and we have climate. Weather, day by day, climate, longer periods of time. So looking here, we have our big idea. Remember, weather is the condition of the atmosphere in a particular area at a particular time. Weather is determined by temperature, precipitation, wind direction, and humidity. Now, climate is the general weather of an area. Okay? So again, remember, weather changes day by day, hour by hour, whereas climate is a longer period of time. When we think about weather, we may think about it's sunny outside, it's rainy outside, it's windy, it cloudy skies. Those are all weather. Now, when we think about climate, we may think about over a longer period of time, we may see snow, we may see an average temperature of, let's say for the summer, an average temperature of 95 degrees. That means like every day the temperature may exceed 90 degrees. It's over a longer period of time. Okay, let's go back and look at our anchor chart. If you see the anchor chart, it says, what is weather? These are all different components of weather. We have sunny, it could be cold, it could be warm, it could be snowy, windy, stormy, a tornado, it could be hot, it could be wet, it can be rainy, it could be cloudy. Those are all different characteristics of weather. Now, when we think about climate, remember I said it's a longer period of time. So I want you to think about the seasons. What do you think the weather is like in summer? What do you think the weather is like in winter? What do you think the weather is like in fall? Okay, and then what about spring? So remember, climate is a longer period of time. Weather is short periods of time. Okay. Boys and girls, today for your Schoology connection today, you're going to watch a YouTube video over weather versus climate. I want you to take some notes on that. And then you're going to have an assignment. I want you to explore the weather conditions of 4 different cities and 4 different states for today, Thursday, September 3rd. So for example, you may pick Austin, you may pick San Diego, you may pick New Orleans, you may pick Orlando. Those are 4 different cities in 4 different states. And you're going to let me know the weather for those 4 cities for today. And then you're also going to explain the difference in climates for the 4 seasons. You're going to explain the climates for the 4 seasons in Houston. What do you notice with the 4 seasons as far as the climates? So you have 3 things for your Schoology today. The first one is to watch your YouTube video, climate versus weather. The second one, you're going to explore the weather for 4 different cities in 4 different states. And then lastly, you're going to explain the difference in climates in the 4 seasons. Okay. Also, boys and girls, in your interactive journals today, I'm going to upload a picture of what needs to be in your interactive journals for today. We're on page 18 and 19. 18 and 19. On page 18, you're going to have an illustration. Trying to get it right, boys and girls. Okay, on page 18, you're going to do your weather and climate. Oh, I'm still wrong. Sorry. Kind of difficult. You're going to do your weather and climate on page 18. And then page 19, you're going to do your definitions and your explanation. Okay, you're going to add this into your journal, page 18 and 19. Again, I will upload a picture so that you can copy it and put it in your journals. Boys and girls, I hope you really got an understanding of weather versus climate and know that there's 2 definitions for 2 different words. Remember, boys and girls, you can always go back to this recording to get a better understanding of what we're talking about in regards to weather and climate. Make sure that you go into your Schoology folder and make sure you do your assignments, boys and girls. I will be looking and taking grades on your assignments, so do your very best. I expect nothing but greatness from you guys, and try your hardest. If you have any questions, boys and girls, please make sure that you come to small group, and I will be able to help you during your small group time. Boys and girls, I'll see you again tomorrow on Friday. Have a great day.